This was one of the most lasting funk bands combining elements of soul, rock, funk, jazz, and Latin influences and breaking down a number of barriers with its multicultural lineup. Over the course of 40 years, this band established themselves as one of the most significant and influential bands of the rock period. The centerpiece of today's video is all about war. Let's take a moment out to thank those who highly requested this video. Now, if you guys love my videos and love supporting me, then I suggest you become a member of the channel where I will be releasing exclusive videos just for you all. Be sure to get that family tier so you won't miss out on these exclusive perks. Now, before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more content. Now, without further ado, let's cue that intro. The origins of war can be traced back to an R&B cover band that was named The Creators. The group was founded in 1962 by guitarist Howard Scott and drummer Harold Brown, while attending school in the Compton area. 3 years later, the band expanded to include pianist Leroy Lonnie Jordan, bassist Morris B.B. Dickerson, and saxophonist Charles Miller. The band's desire for various sounds was evident from the outset, ranging from R&B to blues to Latin music, that they all acquired while growing up in the LA mixed ghettos. Despite a 2-year break following Scott's brief moment into the military, the band released numerous songs locally through DOO Records. Their debut album, Burn Baby Burn, featured singer Johnny Hamilton and jazz saxophonist TJ Contarelli. They also used other names at that time, including the Romeos and Singer Soul. In 1968, the band was renamed Night Shift, and they added Peter Rosen to become the new bassist and drummer Tommy Sylvester Papa D. Allen, along with 2 additional horn players. A few years prior, B.B. Dickerson left the group, but he returned shortly after Rosen passed away from a heroin overdose. In 1969, the band began supporting football star Deacon Jones during his singing performances in a tiny bar, where they was discovered by producer Jerry Goldstein. Goldstein proposed the band as suitable collaborators to former Animals lead singer Eric Burdon, who together with harmonica player Lee Oscar was looking for a new act in Los Angeles nightclubs. Burdon took over the group after seeing Night Shift perform live. He gave them a productive new moniker and named them War, and he replaced the additional horn players with Oscar. To generate material, the band would perform long performances over lyrics that Burdon freestyle. Burdon and War initially entered the studio in August of 1969, and after some more touring, they decided to record their debut album, 1970's Eric Burdon Declares War. The spaced out fantasy, Spill the Wine, was a blockbuster hit, reaching number 3 and launching the band into public limelight overnight. The second album, The Black Man's Burden, was released before the end of the year, documenting the group increasingly extended improvisations over the 2 albums. It also had the band's first recorded vocal performance on the song They Can't Take Away Our Music.
Like the blanket of our...
Burdon's contract permitted War to be signed individually, and they immediately negotiated a deal with United Artists Records, planning to record independently while maintaining their association with Burdon. Burdon, alleging tiredness, abruptly withdrew during the group's European tour in 1971. He would join Ward for the last US tour before departing permanently. Ward had previously recorded a self-titled debut without Burdon at the start of 1971. Before the end of the year, they released another album titled All Day Music, which produced their first top 40 songs, titled All Day Music, and Slipping Into Darkness. The album itself sold 1 million copies and it peaked at number 20. The band truly gained that stride with their follow-up record, 1972's The Ward is a Ghetto. Buoyed by a feeling of multicultural harmonies, it topped the charts and sold over 3 million copies, becoming the best-selling album of 1973. It also generated 2 top 10 hits, The Cisco Kid and the title song. 1973's Less Gritty Deliver the World was another million seller, hitting the top 10 and spawning the top 10 songs Gypsy Man,
A nice shot, baby. I gotta find a friend.
and another success with Me and My Baby Brother. While taking some time to create new material and reevaluate their approach, the band solidified their fame with the double concert album War Live, which was recorded over 4 nights in Chicago in 1974. Released in 1975, Why Can't We Be Friends returned the sound of The Ward is Ghetto with considerable success. The bright, anthemic title track hit the top 10, as did Lowrider, which was an irresistible slice of Latin funk that became the group's first and only R&B chart topper. It still stands as their best known tune. 1976 saw the publication of the Greatest Hits album with the new song Summer, which became Ward's final top 10 mainstream hit. That same year, Oscar published his debut solo album, which featured members of Santana. In 1977, Ward released a double LP anthology of jams and instrumentals titled Platinum Jazz on the Blue Note Jazz label. It rapidly became one of the best-selling albums in Blue Note history and created an R&B chart blockbuster with the altered version of LA Sunshine. Despite the group's popularity, disco was threatening the gritty, socially conscious funk that the band was known for. Later in 1977, the band shifted labels, signing with MCA for their album Galaxy. The album sold well, and the disco team title song was a smash on the R&B charts, marking Ward's final top 40 appearance. Following the completion of the Youngblood soundtrack in 1978, the original Ward lineup began to disband. Dickinson quit during the recording of 1979's The Music Band, and shortly after, Charles Miller was unalived in a robbery attempt. After The Music Band was released, the remaining members sought to rebrand themselves to match the time. They included new musicians such as bassist Luther Rabb, drummer Ronnie Hammond, and saxophone Pac Rizzo. The group fell apart after the publication of The Music Band 2. Smith left, and the follow-up took an unusually long 3 years to prepare. Outlaw was a middling hit when it was released in 1982. The title single was a top 20 R&B success. while Cinco de Mayo became a Latino holiday staple. Rizzo departed the band a year later, and Harold Brown followed him in 1983. Rab was replaced by Ricky Green after the album Life is So Strange. In the years that followed, the band was a mostly touring band. Papa D. Allen collapsed and passed away on stage in 1988 from a brain aneurysm, leaving Jordan, Hammond, Oscar, and Scott as the primary members. Hip-hop musicians frequently sampled the band's sound and kept interest into the band's old work. This was a result into an album, Rap Declares War, that paired the band with a variety of rappers, paving the way for the 1994 soundtrack, Peace Sign. For that record, Brown returned on drums, and Jordan, Scott, Hammond was joined by saxophonist Kerry Campbell and Charles Green, percussionist Sal Rodriguez, harmonica player Tex Nakamura, and Brown's son, programmer Ray Valentine. The band quickly returned to the touring circuit. Brown and Scott departed the lineup in 1997. Jordan proceeded to tour with New Attentions of the band, in which he was the sole original performing member. War and Eric Burdon reunited for a one-time show in London's Royal Albert Hall in 2008. Later that year, Jordan's War released an audio-video live package titled Greatest Hits Live. It featured songs from 1969 to 1975. In 2009, the group was nominated to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. However, they didn't secure enough votes. And as of this recording, War is currently not in any Hall of Fame. Now, before we go, I have a few questions for you all. What is your favorite song by War? Also, do you believe War deserves a Hall of Fame induction? If so, which Hall of Fame?